So what's changed?
Well, Joe, who said this was about breaking the link with the unions? I was a former trade union leader before I became a Member of Parliament. I've been arguing for 20 years, ever since John Smith introduced the first tranche of reforms, that actually that relationship, which is precious and important and we should never lose, would be much healthier if members made a conscious decision, union members of affiliated unions made a conscious decision to pay the political levy, not as the system at the moment. It's a negative decision, it's an opt-out system. And to take that one step further and make another conscious decision to be associate members of the Labour Party is really further even than I thought we would go 20 years ago.
Right, so but an affiliated member will now have the same rights, if you like, in terms of the leadership election as an ordinary Labour member for just £3 a year.
An affiliated, we allow students in on £1 a year. We allow pensioners in.
We're talking about, 2.7, million people, essentially.
Well, look, I mean, with respect, the way we detail what you pay to be a Labour Party member is a matter for us. It would be ridiculous, and I certainly didn't argue this at the time, 20 years ago, if you turned a £3.50 affiliate or £3 affiliation fee into a £45 membership fee. I hope they go on to be members, but these are cleaners, these are hospital porters, these are train drivers who probably earn a bit more than the previous two, but leaving that aside, these are working people. And, I think it's absolutely healthy to have them as associate member, and it was never about breaking the links with unions. It's about making them healthier.
Right.
Strengthening them.
Strengthening those links, but, in your mind, reducing the amount of influence that union leaders have over their members and therefore over Labour Party policy?
Only in the sense that, at the moment, I call them ghosts in the machines. Levy-paying members are kind of pushed around as just numbers. There's 1 million here and 1,000 there. And their views, as I found out when I was leader of the union, is sometimes very different to what activists tell you their views are.
Right,
now,
but that wasn't reflected, was it,
No,
in the past?
but the important point about, and I accept this is esoteric, but the important part about this is each of these associate members will be attached to a constituency party. It will be the Labour Party that controls the ballots for leadership. It's the Labour Party that involves them in our local campaigns, not a trade union general secretary who, with all due respect to them, and I used to be one, can't, in this day and age, can't decide, that's how thousands of my members think. They're individuals.
Let's take it further then. Do you think it would have been even healthier to perhaps break, if you like, that influence a little bit more by stopping the big unions having so much say on forming policy, for example, at Labour Party conferences?
Well, let's get two things out. Ed said in his speech last July he's going to start an opt-in system rather than opt-out. He's gone one step further and said we're going to have one member, one vote. Sure. That's brilliant. Now, that has ramifications for the vote at conference because these people are consciously signing to be levy payers, and the vote at conference will depend on the number who make that conscious decision. But our policy for a long time is no longer 15-minute debates about the Middle East by the seaside. It's in a national policy forum where trade unions have about a third of the vote, and that's very healthy, and that's the right way to make policy.
Well, except that we were just hearing there from our reporter and also from Len McCluskey and Paul Kenny, if you take the financial hit, which is going to come in somewhere, you can't predict exactly by how much, then Labour Party and the Labour leadership, if you like, will be more reliant on the funds from the political funds. Well, they will be, won't they, Alan Johnson, from the unions. And union leaders, they say themselves, unions will control the amount they give Labour in exchange for policy.
No, I accept that there's a risk about funding to this change, but the principle has to come first. It has to be the principle before the finances.
How much do you think will be
Now,
lost?
I think there's lots of people who would contribute to the Labour Party on the basis of a much healthier relationship, one member, one vote, etc.
You hope?
I hope, yes, of course. We can't be sure of that, but I'm proud of my leader for taking the principled decision and not just relying on finance. That wasn't
the question I asked you. Because of the hit you are going to take, and maybe over time you'll recoup some of that lost money if people are attracted to the idea of opting in as Labour Party members. But what about the reliance on the unions, who will still have a large amount of money and they will control it?
Well, I hope the trade unions contribute to the Labour Party. They formed the Labour Party. They would do that, not like hedge funds who put money into the Tory party and then got a tax cut. They would do that on the basis of a party that has shared values, not out of, and this is the important thing about these changes, making it look as if it's some kind of transaction that you have with the unions.